We have a real treat for everybody who follows Frontline today, because generally most of our work is like I'm not going to say it's serious, but it largely revolves around what is political. But today I'm speaking to a composer who I have been following for a really long time. But Sushin, this conversation is going to be more than just his compositions. It's going to be a little bit about him as well, but also about music and what the industry is, what stage is at right now, and a bunch of other stuff. But let's go into the interview. Thank you so much, Sushin, for talking to us. I'm actually pretty, how do I say, hyped that I'm able to interview you, because most of my work, if you say, is like very, very intense. This is also going to be an intense interview, though.
Okay.
But one of the reasons I thought this is the right time for us to have this conversation is because you released this video, Ray, and many of us who not just follow your music, but also look at music beyond, just it being like this entity that's supposed to be like commercial, whatever it is. We look at music as something that really, really influences us.
Yeah.
It really influences the work that we do. It influences our mood.
Yeah.
So music is something like that. So when you released Ray, which is a whole journey, right? From the time that you started conceptualizing it, which is before commercial music, 2013, Under the Apple Tree is the name of this album that Sushin had conceptualized. And it had many songs, and he conceptualized it in Chennai.
Yeah.
So, and then after like close to 12 years, when you actually made Ray, you had gone through this journey of entering the cinema space, commercial music, and then you released this one song.
Yeah.
What was what changed from Under the Apple Tree to Ray? Between these 12 years, what changed?
So maturity, maybe so it happened when I was in when I was working with my guru Deepak Dev. So that time, the main thing was I didn't know if I could compose songs when I was working with him. So I was mostly focusing on the background score side. So I didn't compose a song till then. So I had more free time, when he's not in the studio. So I just sit and scribble something on my own. So that's when I did something like this, and I had more songs there. So this one was I was just playing with some guitar and recording something, and I wasn't serious about making an album or anything like that. So that's when I met Snoopy, and that's when he wrote something, because I didn't know how to write. So he gave me some lyrics, and I was just singing on something on that.
Trying to compose around that lyrics.
Yeah. So, and we had a different concept back then. We didn't have a video budget for sure, So we had a looping concept, we were playing something and this loop happens, because I got inspired by some other Bing Beats, some artists like that, because he does this thing. Most of his videos are he plays something, then that's looped, then he sings something and that's looped. So I had, and we all had, that, what do you say, patience to listen to a longer track back then.
True.
Yeah, and it was around a 7 to 8 minute track when we did it back then.
And it was 10 songs, right?
Yeah.
So what are you saying that I didn't think about it seriously? I was just doing something. That was 10 songs.
Yeah. When we had a plan to make an album is when it became 10 songs, and it happened very naturally. I felt I was not forcing on doing something to make 10 songs. It was happening. We had friends around, we were all musicians and we're jamming and making music, and that when this 10 songs happened is when we thought, okay, let's pitch it to someone and let's see how it goes and all that. So we spoke to few record label, and nobody was interested. And I wasn't famous.
Nobody
also.
was interested in Sushin Shyam once upon a time.
Really. Me and Snoopy, we went to one big company, and we went to the.
He's not naming the company.
Yeah, I don't want to. So it's fine.
Okay,
from their point of view, it's some two dudes coming to the office and coming up with a demo CD saying under the apple tree. What nonsense. So
Why was it
I
called
don't know.
Under
I
the
don't know.
Apple Tree?
I don't know, somebody suggested because I don't know how to name a thing. So nothing. So so I put it on like Facebook back then. So somebody gave me randomly, people are commenting like different names and all that. So one guy named this Under the Apple Tree, like, I was like, okay. So
Sounds like a
yeah,
name that people might be interested in.
yeah, like this guy got this idea from the Apple, no? So like it's a idea thing. So yeah, so we thought, okay, we'll name it Under the Apple Tree for now. So that's how the thing happened. Then yeah, from then we didn't think about. I mean, we shot it actually, like, for like 30,000 is what we had
Really?
back then. Yeah, we
You
shot.
had like a music video that was
We shot something like that time. Then we went to somewhere near the airport, and there was a warehouse and all that. Then we shot this thing, the looping concept, like where I'm playing and all that. Then we shot in, and then after that, like, we tried editing it, and like we understood that it's not that great. Then we didn't release it.
We should find these visuals. But anyway.
I still have it.
We should do something
Yeah,
with that.
from that
then,
to
yeah.
this, it's a big change. But like I said, maturity and the taste and everything changed.
What do you mean by maturity? I really want to know. As a musician, how do you mature?
I mean, mature as in like, when I listened, like, when I was about to release the song Ray, how it sounded was very, a mature sound. That's what I mean by maturity.
Right.
Like, it was very bad production, like, so I've been working in the movies, so my sound thing has
Gotten better.
gotten better, yeah. So then when I heard the old track, I was like, okay, this is not something I should go with now. Then I changed the whole thing, like,
But that's very interesting. I wanted to bring this up later, but production value also kind of influences how good or bad you sound also, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about music. Music is not something that anybody can make just like that. No, it's something that is, a lot of times you can say it's unaffordable for most people to make music, good sounding music, like it was for you back in the day. Because 30,000 was your budget, full budget. So for you to, with video, for you to access production space and make good quality music is difficult.
I don't know, like...
is it or not? Like, do you think...
I think it doesn't have anything to do with money. Yeah, when the production quality doesn't mean you need money to make good production.
Right.
I think it has got to do with your ears. Like, if your ears are nicely tuned and you know what a good sound is, then I think you can just do it in your laptop also. I don't think if you might need a good sound card or like good equipments to go with it. Because most of the producers nowadays, they do, I mean, even Billie Eilish, she did her whole production in a bedroom. They didn't have a studio, right? So yeah, so I think it just got with your brain and how you pursue it. Like,
agreed. I mean, considering we come from a time when they used to use, back in the day, so many instruments to make a song. No? All of that kind of costs. Now, of course, production is a very different ball game.
Yeah.
But the question that I've asked about this inaccessibility of making music is because the industry has also changed. Anybody can make music, but how far will your music go? That's a question that people keep, I think young musicians keep coming to that. And I think I'm tying this to your thought process when you made this album. This question of how far will my music go? Did that kind of, was that in your way? When through this, because now you know where your music got you, right? It got you to.
You're talking about Ray or the whole music?
Whole of
concept.
Your entire
journey.
Career. When you sat down with that album.
Okay.
Did that question bother you as a musician?
Where would
how
it
far
reach?
Will my music go?
I wasn't really bothered about that part. Where would it reach and stuff? When I started, I was questioning myself if I can compose a song. Like, when I got my first movie, Kismath. So these, the director and they called me for the project and like, we need a song. I mean, you have to compose a song. Then I was like, I was again with Snoopy, like the same apartment where you and so we were there and I was like, I was like, how do I do it? Like, and it's a Malayalam track. These tracks were English, right? Even Ray was in English. I never composed a Malayalam track till then. Then I was like, is it possible? Then I was like, listening to a lot of Indian stuff, like, Coke Studio, that, this and all that. Then finally I came up with an idea, like, okay, maybe it's possible. I can do it. Like, if I can do score, maybe, yeah, I can do a song also. It's not a big deal. I mean, even now I have doubts, okay? Like, it's not like it has gone. Like, always when I make a new track, I'm like, oh, how do I do it? Like, it's always there. So I wasn't really bothered about how it would reach, where it would reach and all that. But when it came out and when people started recognizing a new artist, like, there's someone called Sushin and okay, like there's something happening there and all that. And it's not like, I made a like instant hit track. Like, I didn't make Illuminati back then. So I did something very like soft and not non-commercial, I would say. Like, it wasn't really like a hooky, catchy song.
But it still caught on.
Yeah, it did. And that's what matters, I feel. Like, more than the production and see, I think the melody matters, I feel. Like, to get into people's mind more than the sound. And I think it'll fade, like, the production quality and all that. If it has a soulful melody and stuff, I think that's what happened. But yeah, that's how it is. So yeah, so I wasn't worried about that part, but I felt like, maybe then from the next film, then my audience started, like, I started getting a bigger audience, then bigger, it became bigger. So that's how
national.
it happened.
I think Kismath, Ezra and all of this kind of made you extremely popular in Kerala, but I think it was Kumbalangi Nights that made you national, right? Or is it
kind of, yeah. Kumbalangi, I think that too after Corona, I feel. I don't know, like maybe. Most of the people watched when the Corona happened. So that's when.
But that music is like, Kumbalangi Nights, I think, is celebrated by people everywhere. Like, when I was reporting in the Northeast, I heard people asking me about the music of this film.
Yeah.
All the way in Manipur. So.
Yeah.
It's like music that has gone beyond, I mean, for you,
language,
in your journey, right?
Yeah,
beyond language, it became so popular.
Yeah.
And what did that do? Coming back to this thing about like, who is a good musician sort of a thing, right? What does popularity and that sort of, being pushed onto the center stage do to a musician?
I know.
Does it like, I mean, I don't know, does it put you on a pedestal?
It does. That too, like, when you do an album like Aavesham, like, because I think from Aavesham, what I understood has a lot to do with popularity. Like, it became a popular song. And then when people come to me, like, we need a song like Illuminati's, when I'm like, oh shit, like, how do I do that? But I felt like, I go with the balance, I feel like, like when I do a Kumbalangi Nights, maybe I should be able to do a Aavesham kind of album also. Like, it's I mean, I can do both.
Right.
So I kind of enjoy, I mean, I don't want to do Kumbalangi all the time. Like, there has to be something
you want to do mass music as well?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Of course.
Because I didn't do it. I never did something like Aavesham kind of thing. But when I do Manjummel Boys, then there's again, like, I'm doing my kind of electronic and soulful kind of thing. So I like the balance and yeah. But that matters, I think. Like, the popularity thing is a very you have to do something like that.
You have to do something that
because
becomes popular on Reels.
And because yeah,
I mean, that's how popularity is defined right now, right?
I know.
From the time when we were all listening to music on cassettes, where those sales would determine what is a hit, and then to CD, and now to aggregators kind of deciding, like Spotify deciding what is popular, to finally coming to people listening to a song first on Reels. Popularity is defined by how many hits you get, what song people can groove to and make a lot of reels with.
I mean, that's the new kind of thing. I don't know, like popularity has been there from,
of course.
Yeah, even if you talk
Back
about Urvashi is a new kind of track, right?
Yeah.
It is a popular track.
Yeah.
And people loved it. Like, and we still listen to Urvashi.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's a hit track.
But there were also melodies and all kinds of music that got popular.
I think that's what matters, I feel. Like, even if you're doing a popular commercial track, I feel like there has to be something in there, like, instead of making noise. Like, some even when I did Illuminati also, I wanted that second half to be like, something melodic and like where people feel something about the character. I mean, I didn't want to do something that's not related to the character and all that. So I mean, that's what Jitu also asked, like, we need to go with a character, like about this guy and his trauma about his mother and all that has to be spoken.
Has to come through the
through
music,
the music,
right?
yeah.
No, but I get your point, but my question still is, does this whole thing of virality, popularity, you have to give a hook step. The music has to have a hook step. Does that come in the way of your process as a musician? Does it bother you in the brain, in the head?
I don't think about reels when I compose. That's there for sure. Like, like how it has to come out and all that. But when I composed Illuminati, for sure, I thought about it has to be a hit.
Groovy hit.
A hit. I mean, it has to go. Like, it has to, because that's the demand is there. Like, the director is coming to you, we need a viral song.
Yeah.
That is the demand, like what they are asking. So what I had to do is like, do a catchy melody that is, and which I never liked. I'm not saying like, I loved Illuminati, but when I made him listen also, I'm expecting him to reject it. But he loved it. Then I'm like, okay, now I'm like, I have to go with it. Like, then I have to do the second half of the song and all that. I just gave that first 8 bars of the song till the Illuminati part. He's like, okay, this is working. So it worked. But I don't know, like, I'm not a great fan of that concept. Like, okay, let's do a viral track or something. It's not very exciting.
Does that add to your pressure?
I don't know. It wasn't too much pressure for me, but it was very easy for me actually. I don't know.
Aavesham was easy for you.
Aavesham, I mean, I didn't have time to think about easiness and
you just had to do it.
Yeah, it's like 3 days you have to do a song, another 3 days you have to do another song, and we had like 9 songs, so I had to do the whole thing in 1 month. So it's not like I didn't have time to think about I didn't have time to judge
whether this will work or not.
It's just a flow, like the director likes it, okay, let's move on, because the movie is releasing in the next 2 months and no time for that.
But I still think Kumbalangi Nights was more viral than Aavesham.
I don't know about the virality, but
in
I
terms
think
of people,
it stays. That's what matters. I feel like a song like these Illuminati,
and that is what is more viral. No, what stays?
I think that's the thing with the, I feel with the virality, the money and everything is connected, right? More numbers, more money. But I feel what matters is how people talk about the Kumbalangi Nights album, how they connected with their own life and like how it's giving them the therapy they want and all that. That's what matters, I feel like, not the other thing. Like the 2 months or 3 months Illuminati, people will hear Illuminati and it's dead. After that, I don't think people go back to Illuminati. Oh, that's this viral song that happened in 24. I don't think people
will look back at it,
care so much about the viral factor that happened long back.
Right. So since you brought up therapy, like I mentioned right in the beginning, music ends up becoming something very, very important to people. It motivates people. It takes people away from a bunch of stuff connected with their own, whatever they're feeling in the moment. In the same way, for a person to be in the spot of being the composer, right? Like in one of Ilayaraja's songs, he says, because I'm a composer, I'm God. In one of his, this Madai Thirandu, that song that went popular, right? So he says that, which means the composer has this quality of influencing so much, right? In that context, what really determines who a good musician is? Like, what determines that? And also, like, how do you decide on your journey? Like, when you're making music, are you making music for the people in a sense that it reflects you, you in a certain way, your own personal journey? Or are you taking everything around you? Like, are you accounting for what's happening around you? In the sense that music itself, art itself, its roots start from politics. We are in Kerala, so in Kerala, yes. But if you see music, art anywhere, in Russia, cinema started with the communist looking at using that to talk about what happened, or what's happening in Russia. Even in Kerala, cinema, music, and all has been used for those purposes. So, is the journey is it just in with respect to you and your what you are as a person, or do you take everything into account when you make your music?
I think the core is me, what my experience and how my childhood and that all matters. That's what is the core of the idea. Then I take the whole what is around me. So whenever I make music, I feel why does it sound similar? Because it's me who is making it, right? So it has a similarity. Whenever I compose anything, okay, this sounds like I did some time back and all that. So I think I don't know how to explain that, but the core idea is still me. I feel the what my dad made me listen when I was a child, and that is my influence. I feel the Lata Mangeshkar and the R.D. Burman, Rafi, all that influence I have. That's where the classical side of me, I feel, and then it's the rebel side of me is from the fifth standard side. I mean, from there, how I build my taste through listening to. I mean, my first English thing was this Daddy Cool, the Borneo, from Borneo it started, how my with my taste, I feel. Then I don't know about the political side a lot, but
no, because in Kerala there's so many musicians who kind of have stayed away from commercial music. They were always only in the independent space, right? Many bands. You also are part of a band, which was very popular, which is very popular, and has made music that speaks politics.
Very much,
recent album.
Very much.
So in that sense, how do you can't, of course, personal influences aside, I'm sure there are so many other influences.
Yeah, with the band, yes, we have a strong political side and has a lot of message to say, but I don't have much to do with that, because it's mostly Nazar and Muns, and they're the one who decides what we should talk about. But I agree with whatever they're saying
broadly with all
of
of it.
How we feel about what's bad and how it's happening. So I agree with whatever they're saying, but myself, I don't know,
do you feel like you're not pushed to that limit where you feel like my music should reflect a little bit about what's going on around me?
I don't know, sometimes I feel sometimes I don't know, there was a war track I did long back, with the Under the Apple Tree. My emotion was different, I was in a very bad stage, a sad space. So then I did some composition, I was just sitting, and it sounded really sad, and then that's how I connect with a different thing, with the war that's happening, and I'm okay, I think the emotion conveys that theme. So that's how I connect with stuff, I don't think about war and make a song like that. So I think the emotion
itself,
is what I connect with, so
yeah, I mean
that's how I make music. I can't think about a concept, and I mean, with film, yes, but emotionally it's sad, happy. I think we have only few emotions.
And that kind of gives the, what do you say, BGM of
different events. And the sounding is what defines the landscape, which are we talking about Palestine, or the soundscape is what takes you there. So that's how I create stuff, I feel. So
that's I think pretty much how a lot of no I get it. A lot of musicians back in the day did not really put lyrics, but they made music to represent a bunch of stuff, represent politics, represent caste, represent even in the US and all, there have been a lot of bands that heavy metal bands which properly tried to sort of position themselves without even saying much.
Rage Against the Machine, System of a Down, they all talk.
And their videos and all are so political, right? So they do that. But as a composer is what, I was trying to understand what your process is. Because here you're in the very initial stages, right? And since you're talking about composing, I want to ask you a question, which I think I myself want to understand.
I mean, I'll just continue one thing. Like, recently with TDT, we did a song called Monsoon in Kannur. So we had the name before, like, before 10 years, we started composing the song. But that's one song we had an idea where, like, we are talking about, the calamity and, like, how people are treating the world, and, like, and as a musicians, we wanted to do a song about that, like, how it's going to end, and, like, how bad it is. So yeah, when you listen to that track, you'll understand, like, how the rain slowly starts and it becomes, massive, and, like, how it's going to destroy the whole thing. So there we had a theme, and we were doing a track according to the theme, and
Yeah, I totally get it. Music is what moves us. There's a lot of music that we hear without lyrics, which will literally make you cry in seconds. And which will make you angry, which can make you emote in any way. So if you're able to express that in music without lyrics, nothing like it. I mean, that's what music is for a lot of us, right? Talking about emotion, where are we when it comes to composition, composing, and AI? This is a question that I want to even understand myself, because I've not really thought about how it plays out when it comes to composing. But can you, like, educate all of us a little bit, like, what's gonna happen with this AI composing music?
I was shocked by whatever I heard. Like, my friends, they share it with me, something like, I listen to this track. What do you think about it? When I listen to it, like, it sounds like real original, like, what is recorded sounds, like, and I was like, who did this? Then it's like Suno. I'm like, okay. So now the AI is learning it to a way, like, you wouldn't, like, guess if it is AI music or, like, real human music.
That's scary, though.
That's scary, and and to a point, I feel like, sometimes, okay, we all use tools, right, for music, like, back then they didn't have, like, virtual instrument, VST and all that. Back then, when people use, like, I mean, we can't afford to record some strings and all that, so okay, we have some VST. I mean, it's similar, the concept is similar, because people are losing their job. So we were using it, like, anyway, like, because we couldn't afford people. So now it's becoming like, and this VST was helping the musician to create music. Now, till a point, AI was helping the musician to create. Okay, you're stuck in a way, like, you're composing something. Okay, from this point to this point, you're not getting an idea. Okay, maybe you're
it's like
you're jamming with the AI tool, like, okay, from here, what do you think, and all that. Okay, AI is giving you an idea. Okay, that sounds okay, or give me another idea, let's jam. It's like another guy you're jamming. But now I think it's going to a point where this AI is, like, directly replacing musicians, like, directly talking to, maybe you're the director, the AI is coming to you, and okay, you don't have to spend time with musicians, you give me $20, I'll give you what you want.
A lot of people who play instruments got replaced. Now finally y'all will get.
Like, I'll believe it, like, when the day that comes where AI will make me cry, that's when I'll believe it, like, okay, this has got some, I mean, that's the only thing human has, right? Like, to make the other person cry with music. Like, I mean, that's, humans can sing, like, they can make music. That's the only gift extra gift we have. But when AI is doing this job, I don't know, like, because AI is learning it from humans only, right? Like, from, with the all new, if you go through this thing with all the new record labels and all that, they have a clause where they say, like, when we buy your music, we'll have to use it to train AI. Okay.
There's a clause like that?
There's a clause like that. And as a musician, as a human, we feel really painful to see that kind of clause, like, because the record label itself.
How are y'all as musicians, composers, not able to do anything about it?
And if when they say, like, if you don't agree to this clause, we can't buy your music, and we are like pretty much in a bad stage.
No, but collectively, aren't you all like pissed about this?
We are, but
Then
we are.
how can you all be like, you know what? When AI replaces me, I'll figure out what I'll do. What?
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know, like,
Dude, I'm talking
it's a very
to like
it's a
one of
corporate
the
stuff,
top musicians in the freaking country,
but
and
I
you're like,
make sure that I don't sign that. But I'm talking about, like, the musicians where they don't have a voice to do that, so they'll have to do it, because when they're putting a big amount here and saying, okay, these are the clause, you have to sign it.
So if
Else
10
no
of
deal.
you
It's
don't
it's a
sign
deal
it-
breaker. Like, there's no conversation happening there. There's a deal break. If you don't sign it, no deal.
no, but if a corporation is able to like make money out of your music for these many years, for decades they've made money out of musicians, and then finally they're like, you know what, we can make the same kind of music with lesser money, and they'll turn to that, and y'all will be like, hey,
Yeah.
you know what, we'll see when it. I mean, where's the?
It's pretty sad,
Coming
but it's
together.
getting there. I don't know where it's getting, but
Maybe it's time for a union.
I mean, that I don't know, man. Like,
I don't
there
know.
are unions and all that. I don't know anybody's doing anything about that, but I don't know why union. So
Because
yeah,
they're putting a clause like, I'm talking about union of music composers. Don't forget about anybody else. This is an extremely exploitative clause.
dude,
It
we
can
are
mean-
living in a place where people are asking me, why are you charging a lot for your music? So there's no union. Let's not talk about union. So yeah, that's the thing with AI, and like and this
But
AI.
there is a fear that
There's a fear, because what if, like, okay, like these people want to do make music like Sushin Shyam. That's the prompt you're going to give later, because I already gave my this thing, right, the clause,
Yeah.
like, you can learn my music. So yeah, AI should be able to do music like Sushin Shyam, and it should be possible, right? You're giving thumbs up
I didn't
for,
even think about that though.
I mean, yeah, that's where it is getting. It's scary.
Wow. But then, kind of bringing back one of the questions that I asked right in the music, right in the beginning, from under the apple tree to Ray, there was a journey of you properly entering into commercial music, cinema music, that is, and also returning to making a song by yourself, right? So there was a full circle there. So there are two questions. For one, within cinema music, what makes Malayalam cinema music unique? Okay, first question. Second question, did you lose yourself somewhere in between in that journey? In this fight with commercial music,
Yeah.
making commercial music, did you as a musician lose yourself? So there's a two-part question. One is general, one is specific.
One is
What makes Malayalam cinema music distinct?
music.
It's a very personal thing, okay? You have to answer, but
I have to think about
because we
it.
can fight about Tamil music, Tamil cinema music, but you have to answer this.
Why does it?
What is
why
unique
is it
about it?
unique? Is it unique?
Come on, man. It's a question to you.
Okay, no, I'm asking you. Like, you find it unique.
Question for a question. No, for me, I think these times, I think cinema music from Kerala is much more interesting for me than even Tamil industry. You know, there's so much more sound, so much more emotion here than there.
Okay.
Which was different for us back in the day. I mean, even here, music must have been great. But when we were growing up, we heard a lot of emotion in the music. We were brought up on music like that. That I feel like if I want that, I have to move towards Kerala now.
Okay. I don't know, like, I can only say from my side,
Yeah.
I feel the things I do is mostly because the script I'm selecting kind of inspires me to do that kind of music. So that is one thing I feel, and I don't know why it's unique.
No, this is like in a general,
I feel
in
there's
all
a
the years
lot
of
of-
existence of cinema music.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of freedom. I think that matters a lot. Like, you have the freedom to explore more, and you have a lot of good musicians here to inspire us also. Like, I came to Malayalam thing because somebody inspired me to do so. Like, I mean, because somebody's doing good music in Malayalam itself. And that is like, okay, when Deepak Dev was doing Urumi, I was like, okay, this is world class music. And this guy is putting that Malayalam in a more global way, and it sounds really good. And when Rex Vijan came up with Avial and like his independent films, that's where I felt like, okay, there's a space where you can do something other than classical music, or like, the 80s or 90s, that kind of thing. More than that, you can explore more with electronic or rock. You can mix and, do fusion and all that.
And people were receptive to that.
Yeah, that's what matters, I feel. Okay, forget everything. I feel the audience, they
respond to it.
They're very responsive. Like they respond to new stuff, and not everyone, but majority of people, I feel like, they are ready for new stuff. And I feel like, in the next coming years also, there'll be a genre shift, I feel, in Malayalam. Like, I think
if AI doesn't like replace everybody.
Yeah. Even in the music part, and in the film also, I feel like, everybody's ready for a genre.
That's I think very important, and I think that's what has remained constant in Kerala.
Yeah.
Even in Tamil Nadu, maybe a little bit, because these two are, according to me, the best music industries of India. Okay, Tamil music and Kerala music, for me at least.
Yeah.
So I feel like the receptiveness here.
Yeah.
And the experimental sort of thing is more here. I don't know, man. I'm probably going to
get
dissed for this.
Like for Malayalam thing, I feel like, people are not expecting, okay, you do that kind of music, we'll accept. I feel that's very less here. Like, yeah. So nobody's telling you what to do. Like you're giving them something new, and they're like, okay, this is good.
They are exploring.
Yeah, they're exploring, and they're listening to more like new. Like, they're more forward than the musicians, I feel sometimes, because the things they are listening, you have to listen from them. Like, okay, what are you listening now? Like, this is something good. Okay, maybe.
So people in Kerala, you're saying, are more receptive to all forms of music.
Yeah, right? Because I come from Kannur, like a place where nobody listens to metal, or like, like so I meet few people, musicians, who are listening to some crazy, like they're downloading song from LimeWire and an old thing. So I come from this small village also, like they have a good taste in music. And in Talasheri also, we had rock shows, like, back then. So,
I mean, some of the oldest bands, rock bands of Kerala were very popular.
Yeah,
right?
even 1380 and all come from Calicut, I feel. I guess Calicut or Cochin, I don't know. But yeah, we have a good music culture. So maybe that good taste is
Has
what
the music
matters.
culture remained the same? Like there's a lot of independent music, a lot of like music that everybody was like.
It keeps changing, I feel like, it's not like constantly the same thing. It always keeps like, when I was growing up, I was listening to all the, then also they had independent music, but it was really, popular than film, I felt like, back then, like Chembagame and all this. There are like a lot of tracks like Sundari Eva and all that. It was doing so great, like, because people are requesting for this song because the popularity is so great, and the music is good. Right. So yeah.
So basically, in essence, what you're trying to say is, even though industry itself has changed, the demands of the industry and the people who drive production has changed. It's become more of virality. Still, the way in which audience perceive music hasn't changed so much. They still want new. They still are open to receiving new stuff.
That's what I feel. I don't know. Like, I didn't speak to the audience, but
I mean, you have a perception of.
Yeah, actually, like.
But what has it done to the music composer? Have you all given into the race of, popularity, or that's my question, right? In this whole 360 that you've gone from Under the Apple Tree to Ray, where you've given hits that are nationally, internationally also, you can say, popular. Did you lose yourself somewhere there as a musician? Did you also give in to this thing of commercial success? Or were you able to retain some part of you that always thought?
I think there's a.
I don't know. You tell me.
I think little bit is there. I feel when I do get lost in between sometimes, but I try to ask myself most of the time, like, are you doing the right thing?
How do you ground yourself? How do you return to,
I
the
think
basics?
I think my creative block is enough for me to get grounded, because that puts me in a situation where I feel I'm zero.
And what is this creative block like?
Creative block as in, like, me doing, like, I've done like more than 35, 40 films, I don't know like the exact number, but even after that, when I sit to compose for a song, for a situation, then I don't get anything out of anything. Like, it's a blank session where there's nothing happening. Like, there's not even a single chord that I played, because there's this creative block happening. That's when I get grounded. Like,
Does that mean you're saturated?
maybe no, I don't think so. Like, I
At that point, I mean, not like
yeah, I think that happens once in a while. Like,
For
even
musicians.
for Kumbalangi Nights also, I was in a situation where I was not getting any idea for Viral Todum, that track. So
that's a
I
superb
think
track.
yeah. So that's that point of life, like, where I feel okay, I'm nothing, puts me grounded. I feel.
And what
like,
do you do after? When you get this, do you take a break?
I
How
take
do
a
you,
break. I mean, I try for a few days. Like, 3-4 days I'll try. Fifth day, maybe if I'm not getting, I'll just go somewhere.
That's when you're in the middle of a project. Have you decided at any point in your music career that, I'm going to like take a long break?
Yeah.
I'm going to
Last year.
like where you decided that this is a point where I have to just let it be.
Yeah.
And I'll come back to it whenever I feel like.
Whenever I feel like, and when the bank balance is low.
Right. But you took a break. How big was this break?
Like 8-9 months. It's almost getting into 1 year thing.
But
brackets.
anybody comes and asks you, you are able to like, you can tell them no, that I'm not in the zone.
Yeah. I think people take it.
They take it well?
Yeah, sure. Like, because they have seen me, like, struggling last year, like doing a lot of films back to back. So,
do you think that's crucial for a musician? I'm bringing this up because, like cinema music, which is so commercial, which has so much money in it, is one of the biggest industries in the world in India, right? Elsewhere, if you see, cinema music is not the most popular music in the country. It'll be musicians, releasing singles or albums or whatever. So they can take how many ever long breaks they want. Like Kendrick Lamar took such a long break before he came up with an album. Rihanna, everybody's like, when will you release a song? Because I'm talking about the top musicians in the world. Even in Europe and many other countries, people take longer breaks because it's not like the commercials are not as much as it's in India. Here, a lot of money is at stake, right? So in this sort of a thing, how do musicians ground themselves, especially when there's so much demand? And like you're saying, bank balance. A lot of people are like, you know what, I need to keep making music. I need to keep making money. They never take that break that you're talking about. So how have you like suddenly decided, you know what, I'll take a break?
I think, I don't know, like, for me, I feel when I compose for a film, I take it very personally. Like, it's not like I'm just doing it for money. Like, I'm making money, but for the time and effort I'm putting, I feel like, these creative block and all is a part of that journey, right? So it's too much pain for me. Like, when I don't come up with an idea and I feel like, okay, I'm so drained by thinking for an idea. So since it is so emotional and like, very personal, I feel that's only affecting me, not the industry. I feel like,
No, but if that's the thing, right? If a composer doesn't even have the space to breathe because the industry is like that, eventually to influence music. Isn't it?
It will influence what?
Music.
Yeah.
Because if from one film to the other, there's hardly any space and you're doing like 20-30 films in a year, how much creatively can you apply yourself?
I don't believe in that. Like,
Really?
It's too much. I don't want to put so much. I have only little talent, whatever I have. I'm just working with that, I feel. So I don't want to get drained by the projects and like, do everything, like do 30 films in a year. And I feel like I want longer life.
to the point that all your music starts sounding similar. There's
Yeah,
a
that's
bunch
what.
of people who
Yeah,
sound like
so
that.
I don't want that. That's the last thing I want. Like so I feel like, if I take little more time to do compositions, maybe my career life will be longer. I feel like, so people don't get bored and okay, yeah, I think you should stop, man. Like, instead of that, I feel like, I should put more time in me to have more knowledge about music, and like, I think I should give it more time. That's what I feel.
And keep learning
That's why
in
the break. That's why I take break. I mean, I never took break actually. Like,
This is
from
the
the
first-
time I started working, this is the longest break I took, and this was a much needed break, I feel. And I'm not really scared about, like, okay, what if people forget me after 1 year and all that. I'm not very scared of that kind of thing, because people tell me, okay, you shouldn't take break. You should. This is your peak and all that. You have to
the
keep
fear
on
of
working.
what will happen if you, take care of yourself.
Yeah,
Is like,
I don't.
think-
I had that fear long back. Like, I was like, sometimes I felt like, okay, I want to move to Europe and do something there, or be a musician there and all that. Then I was like, okay, I put so much effort in building my career. How can I just leave like that? Now I don't have that scare. I feel freedom in thinking that way. Like, you don't have to be in Kerala,
better
or like,
music. Yeah,
if
sure,
you're a
sure.
musician, you can live anywhere. I feel that I know a lot of friends who live like that. So
Right. So commercial music, cinema music, whatever it's not, I mean, it's not driven you to the edge as yet.
yeah,
You almost went to the edge, but you took a break.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Great. So re-looping back to our first question and ending it with this question.
Okay.
Why was it important for you to make Ray? Right at the brink of your break.
Yeah. So
And what are you trying to convey with the, I mean, not like messaging, but by releasing that and saying that, this is my return to independent music. What is your message?
I think with all this, the way how this is running, like, with the cinema thing, and you don't have no time and all that thing. When I took this break, I was enjoying, okay, like when I went for the trip and all that, I was enjoying, and I came back and I was in Thailand, and I was like, I think I have to do something for myself, like, all these movie songs, I'm doing it for a purpose, right? Like, for a situation or anything. So I wanted to explore myself, like, what am I like how you said, like, did you get lost in between? So I was just going to that point where I wanted to re-explore that part of me. Is it still alive or not?
What inspired you to come into being a musician?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, so I just wanted to get back to that point where I stopped. Like, I stopped that whole journey of independent scene when I got busy with the film thing. So I was like, and of course, the 7-minute track or a 8-minute track, like, I was like, let's see if people has patience listening to the track, and like, because the track starts in 1.5 minutes. It takes a long time to get into the track.
Which is how tracks used to be.
Yeah, it used to be like that. Now, like, you start with the hook line. Then people are like, okay, that's a nice hook line. We'll repeat it 500 times, and people get lost in the hook line. Okay, like rolling with hook lines. So I just wanted to take people to that slow pace, that slow life kind of thing, and like
Melody, basically.
melody, and like, and it's not a heavy pumped up electronic track. It's a very slow, and like, it has its high and lows and all that. So yeah, I wanted to explore myself, more than taking people to that. I wanted me to be happy more than that. Like, I wanted little time, and I didn't have a deadline. So that's the most thing I enjoyed about that track, because nobody's telling me to release it on
So you
this
had
day.
the freedom of your own time, and
whenever, and like,
is that there a lot though? Do you have the freedom
No.
to do whatever you want as a music composer?
as a music composer, I think now, yes. Like, but still, like, you're jamming with the director. Like,
You have to.
I mean, this guy has to like it, no? Like,
Yeah, of
I can't just go with, okay, I like it.
Right.
I don't care
Of
about you. So I can't do that. So it's a jam. So for the indie stuff, I feel like it's my decision to
Of
like,
course,
go with a 2 minute BGM in between, and there's no lyrics. Like, it's just a storytelling and like, some electronic stuff and all that. So that's a freedom I get when I do my own thing. And there's a radio edit kind of thing, no? For like a 3.5 minutes is what people make track now, because it has to be played on radio. So even the duration is told by
Influenced
the
yeah.
corporate, like they're telling you this is the limit. So I was like, okay, even
Shit, man, we used to have 8-minute, 9-minute songs and all back
yeah.
in the day,
Again, like, for the radio thing, I had to give them 3 minutes, okay, like for A, because it has to be played somewhere, no? So I made a 3-minute track, but it was like killing the track, like.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's how it works. We just go with the flow.
The industry is impatient, but musicians are not. Musicians are very patient.
Shouldn't, yeah.
Have to be.
Have to be, yeah.
I mean, it's critically. I mean, it's essentially that, no, a happy musician is going to make good music.
Yeah, peaceful. Yeah, like, yeah. I mean, if you take the right break,
and also like if the industry wasn't this.
And I feel it's our responsibility to, make people listen to good music.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we don't have to do it just for the sake of being commercial.
Yeah.
And making loud music.
I mean, if all composers, all musicians felt that way, I think there would be a lot more good music. But unfortunately, I'm not saying that we are nobody to judge people and their circumstances, right? But I feel like what influences them is largely something they can't control.
Yeah. And people have options, right? Like they can select any artist, like, maybe for some people, therapy is Illuminati. You can never say, like, maybe they enjoy listening to a high beat track, or like, sometimes it's Charadagal for some. So you can never say what works for who.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, this conversation has been great, Sushin. We're looking forward to you coming out of your break, whenever that is, and hopefully listening to music of yours in Tamil.
Yeah, soon.
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 Great. Thank you so much, Sushin.
Thank you.